Good morning. Good morning on the West Coast still. Drank last night. Standing in the back of my trailer to block the wind. Still out here at Vegas Speedway. Couple stragglers. Waiting on Zach's ass to get up so we can leave. Come on, Zach. So, I'll explain how everything went here this week. It was a good time. That's dumb shit happened, but good time. Went to a finals. And wife's money in the new car. Won the main finals, but went to a finals. Another problem. I'll get to that. So, I went to leave last night. Hung out with my buddy Rob, this girl. Came out here to Vegas, hung out with us all week. Really appreciate you, Rob. It was a good time, man. Had to pull out last night. Went dumped the rig, fill some water up, fuel up. By the time I got all that shit done, had to check a wheel bearing on a trailer, tighten that down. I'm like, man, it's freaking 8 o'clock. I'm already was tired. I'm gonna get on the road, and at that point didn't even know what direction I was going. I don't know if I was going that way, north or south, because I didn't know where we were going. I didn't know if we were going to go to Michigan right now and dump our rig off for Billy Briggs Racing Engines, park it there, or if we were just going to go take this small tire car that's in this thing that is gangster, a small tire car. We did lose this weekend. I get to that too, and take it to Armageddon. So I decided. I've talked with Zach, is Burban's crew chief. We're going to go to Armageddon. So Caden's going to race Armageddon. So we're going to head down there. As soon as he wakes his butt up and gets the car loaded over there. So, yeah, so I didn't leave last night. I came back into pits and parked. I said, all right, we'll get after it in the morning. We'll head somewhere. And we ended up deciding we were heading to Armageddon. So, cool. It's kind of a bucket list race. These are fast-ass guys, but from what I understand, Thursday the track is going to be scraped and washed. So I know there's going to be some fast-ass guys there, man. Everybody that's up here running big tires probably going to bring their small tire cars out. I was going to shoe it, but I know Caden really wants to do it too, man. And I'll just be his crew chief, and I will be his help him tune and power manage, because he pretty much was handling that here all weekend. And we get to the semifinals from Saturday. Of course, I don't remember what happened Friday. I think he lost to the guy that won it here on Friday. And then early in the rounds, he drew him and lost. We didn't get after it early enough and get after it fast enough, unanticipated the surface, and not enough power, but he got beat by about half a car. So he goes out to Brandon James on Saturday. In the semifinals, he red lit because the third amber was tied to the green light, and he deep staged because we gave the engine more RPM on the 3-step, and it bumped too deep. One of the problems of the turbo life. And he went red. He did beat Brandon. I think they left kind of the same, but his lights showed him when he went red. But he did beat Brandon in stripe by a good amount, I guess. But didn't matter. Brandon won. Caden lost. So we're going to take the old OG relic down to Outlaw Armageddon. See if Caden can rock these boys out. I think we got a good shot. This thing goes pretty much to the finals everywhere we go, unless something happens. So we'll give it hell, man. This thing, I swear this old car is, as Kiko calls it, an ATM machine. It didn't make us any money this weekend, I assure you. Unfortunately, but normally it does. What's up, guys? What happened with the car in the last Brandon Earhart? So let me start from the beginning with Weiss Money. We get out here. First two grudge races in Friday night, we blow the tire off. I go to Chase and I'm like, look, we got to cut the balls off this thing, man. We got to put his dick in the dirt. We got to take a lot out of the plot, take some timing out. And he did just that. We ended up drawing Ryan Martin, which was a killer. Hey, Ryan beat us by maybe half, 3/4 of a car. And it was all due to just wheel speed that we had too early, and it slowed the car down, motivating it early. So going into Saturday, heat of the day, which I've never been the best at racing at, we end up having a hot rod. Well, we draw Giuseppe another hammer, which is fine. Honestly, we weren't really at that point knowing where the car was going to run, how well it was going to run, but we knew we were running pretty good once we got a little more power out of it early. Kind of started applying it later. Plan was to start applying it later, and it was going to work, and it did. So we draw Giuseppe, we go out there, car leaves good, quarter-second numbers are great, better than it's been all weekend, and the fuel pump falls off. Yes, the fuel pump fell off. I know Birdman's actually had that problem in the past, never understood how, and now I get it. So there's some bolts that hold the V-band to the belt drive bracket on the ProCharger mount, and they just vibrated loose. So it became a new part that now we know that we have to service and pay attention to when we're racing this thing. So it's now going to be on our list of to-dos to make sure it's tight. It's V-banded, but there's 3/4 bolts that hold the V-band to the freaking bracket, and the fucking fuel pump fell off. Greg Powery, when he originally built the tune-up, he put a fuel pressure safety in it also, so that shut it down, and then it just made no fuel pressure and shut off completely. Well, I also had changed the fuel line to the return side of the regulator, and I left the fuel pressure reference line loose to the fuel pressure regulator, so had that pump not fallen off, I probably would have burned the car down on the big end somewhere, because the reference line would have backed its way all the way out. So just some dumb stuff happened there, which cost me the race in the invitational side of it, and I didn't win against Giuseppe. We did draw, two killers regardless. They moved on. We did drop down to 1 in points. We got lucky. Sometimes they said it'd better be lucky than good any day, and I guess I'll take that. So then we go jump an Outlaw Big Tire, and we draw Kaylee Mills. Great race with her. We beat her. She made a great lick. We made a really good pass. I definitely think we had a really fast car here. I know we had a really fast car here. I think some others know we had a really fast car here also. Chase killed it. Chase Driscoll Racing did a great job. Power Imagine this thing and getting the car to go how it needed to, especially for numbers mile per hour. It's definitely impressive here. Tough surface here this weekend, very tough for everybody. So then we draw Jim Howe. We had a great pass against Jim Howe. We beat Jim Howe. Then he made a good lick also, I do believe. I haven't watched the 360 footage yet, but I'm going to get to that here soon. So then we end up drawing Jimmy Taylor in the finals. I asked what lane he wanted. He said he wanted right lane. I imagine with that screw blower, right lane's always probably better. You can see the light. So no big deal, man. We just went down and made a killer stellar pass in the left lane. So we get up, we line up, we're out in front of him to 300 feet, and all of a sudden the car just starts going, and I'm like already in my head when I take off the tree, because he had radio issues and they were taking forever to get staged, and my car was almost 200 degrees when I let off the trans brake, and I was so tempted to board the pass before we started because the car was so hot from the temperatures out here and turning the cars over in 30 minutes. So I didn't know if it was a low oil pressure safety that was shutting the car down, but it wasn't. It ended up being a crank trigger failure. We had 6 crank trigger failures. That was a bunch more, but 6 during the run. Shut the car down, and Jimmy ended up passing me probably by a half, 3/4 car, give or take, at the stripe, but the car just bucked. And honestly, man, I normally would abort because it was a final. I just kept the fucking foot to the wood, and I let her eat. And the shitty part about that is, is the damage that it can do to the rods of the motor, beating on them. Sorry, I want to walk out here. Man, this is probably pretty loud and noisy. and the blower. So like I did like 6 pedals basically, I think is what I would have done to the blower by allowing it to crank trigger hit, crank trigger hit, crank trigger fault. So that scares me, but we pulled the blower roll, everything looks good there. We just hope that there is no future potential problems with the blower because of the crank trigger failure. But man, you know, it's a cause and effect deal with this kind of stuff. So I talked to Scott Taylor, and Scott said, man, Chris, the only rod I broke this past year in a turbo motor was after I had a crank trigger failure, and it bucked the motor a few times and it lost the rod. So we're about 10 runs short of replacing rods, but I just got to film a Proline in order to say I'm not taking a chance. I'm gonna put a rack in it. We actually had a cracked piston at number 6 too. We ran it 3 rounds like that because we just sent it. I know you can do it. We've been told you can do it, and we sent it, and it fucking worked. Them Proline motors are definitely stout. You can't doubt that, because when it went lean, when it popped when the fuel pump went off, it went a little lean quickly, but it's just enough to get us put a crack in number 6. So we're gonna pull off that bank and put a number 6 piston in, and I think we need to put some oil rings in number 2. So we figured, screw it, we'll just throw a whole rack in the whole deal, make sure everything's safe. I might even put my spare blower on just for safety, just to make sure we don't have any problems. We're winning the last race in Michigan, guys, for the top 16, and we want to stay there. We're number 14. I don't want to have any other failures there. Oh my god, make sure I nut and bolt this whole car. It's amazing the vibration that goes into these things, and the things that come loose, and the things that I was finding that came loose during the process. And to give you another example how bad the vibration is, it killed my ECU. So on that last pass, the ECU was allowing us to pull data logs and tune up, but there's no screen, no function in the screen whatsoever, and I didn't have isolators when I got the car. The dash was already mounted, so there was no isolators from the fuel tech dash to the chassis, so it looks as if it just vibration might have wrecked the ECU. So all that kind of happened all in my last pass, and I really feel like had I not broke against Giuseppe, we would have had a really good run against him. But regardless, had we even went rounds in the main event, this shit would have happened to us in the semis or the finals. We're in the finals, just like it just did in the finals of the Outlaw Big Tire. So, which would have been really hurtful, really bad, because I would have never been able to swallow that up, knowing that we overlooked something and cost us the main deal. So, but I can tell you, 3 race weekends. We have Washington, Idaho, and now Vegas. And Wife's Money is getting it done, man. It is a fast freaking car. We went to the semifinals in the main event in Idaho. We went to the finals in Outlaw Big Tire. And dude, I'm telling you, me and the crew and everybody, we weren't afraid to run anybody here on Saturday once we got a handle on it. Like, it was like, we didn't care who we drew. We knew if we drew somebody fast, and we needed to figure out how to put them on the trailer and move on. So, and you know, I'm so super pleased with the car. You know, it's amazing. You know, people say to me, you love the blower, do you love ProCharger, do you love Proline, do you love Camaro? I was like, listen, I'm learning to love it all, because it's all new. Definitely loving the success from it. Definitely loving the outcome. It's amazing, and it's amazing how well they work. And to the people that complain about the failures and stuff with blowers, and I don't know how to say this, but I can tell you we do all the routine maintenance we're supposed to do. We check the shaft every 5 passes. You know, we check it or replace it, even though it doesn't need to. We at least look it over, make sure it's not being abused. So there's things you have to do. We change the blower oil every run. Even if we make a short pass, we'll change the blower oil. You know, if we abort a pass, we'll change the blower oil. We don't fool around. Just trying to make sure we do everything right to keep it together. And, you know, I'm sure there's things that happen that can fail and you don't have no control over it, but we've had great success, and it's amazing. It's amazing, guys. But I'm going to read some of these comments, sorry. What's up, Frank? I'm going to call you later. I was going to call you yesterday, Frank. I figured I'd call you on the road, and we never got on the road. Because I'll see you out there in Michigan. Larry Shore, love the car, thanks, man. Bob Smith, what's up? Chastity, hey, how are you? I miss you guys, man. We have not been small tire racing with you guys. y'all. Hopefully we'll see you guys out long again if you guys are out there with the wagon. Coxby Ryan, what's up? Thanks, man. It's definitely doing really well once we got through some of the early failures. AJ Fornari, what's up, man? I pronounced that right. Yeah, man, it's definitely, everybody knows, I definitely think everybody knows the car's really working well, and I've got my own little procedure that some people might frown on how I take the tree, but it's working very well. And the people that don't like it, I think it's stupid, and kiss my ass, because we treat everybody this weekend, and I think I'm going to continue to do that. That's my plan. So, just trying to keep my little program the way it works, and everybody knows I'm jumping back and forth from a turbo car to a Pro Charger car, so I'm trying to keep them stupid simple. Kiss, right? Keep it stupid simple between both of them in the driver's seat. Who else we got on here? Scott Hertzler. I hope I pronounced that right. Time to tighten up. Got a couple races left. Let's see, waste money, Chase. Yeah, man. Thank you, Scott. We definitely got to tighten up. We're working on it. Definitely learning the things that we gotta keep an eye on. For sure, man. It's not something I can say that I'm used to having to tighten up nuts and bolts in certain areas. I'm not used to tightening up stuff with the car that just came loose. And it's funny because earlier on Saturday, I'm walking through my pit saying to myself, man, this ain't so bad, everybody's been saying this is no bullshit, too. This is exactly what I said to myself. This thing doesn't vibrate that bad. All these people are like, man, you got to do this, you got to nut and bolt that. I'm like, yeah, we had a fuel pump fell off. Okay. I'm sorry, that was before the fuel pump fell off. So the fuel pump fell off, ECU broke, and the crank trigger. It's probably all from vibration. It's crazy. Excuse me, I literally took it for granted earlier in that day, walking through my pits, not even taking consideration that shit could happen, and it did. Just vibration is tremendous on these things. Brady Ross, you guys are doing amazing. See you on Idaho. Oh, saw y'all. Oh, okay, awesome. We saw you guys. That's cool, man. Ron Heller, what's up, man? I gotta call you. I'll catch up with you on the road too. Excuse me. Gore Riddles. I always say learning sucks, but that's the way. Yeah, you're right, man. And you know what, guys? I always learn the hard way. There's no question about it. Shit don't always come easy on my life, but maybe we'll get some. But you know what? I've had some luck. I've had some luck. Keep working hard. Your day will come. Chris Level, thank you, man. PA represent. That's right, baby. Little Stone. It was windy out here too, guys. The dust out here, the wind. Hot as fuck, man. So hot, but it wasn't even as hot as it was a week before, so it could have been a lot worse. But anyway, we had a great time out here. Car's still in one piece. I think the most damage was done is when we went to lower the car off the lift when we got here. The parachute mount grabbed a hold of the lift fucking thing and bent it. What's up, man? There's a killer here. I'm alive, man.
You alive?
I'm live. The man and myth, the legend.
Shoot.
How you been this morning, man?
Trying to think of ways I could suck more than what I have lately.
Dude, everything fell apart on me. Like, I just struggled. Anyway, guys, I'm going to catch up with him. It's morning time, and I'm still pounding my coffee over
Talk
here.
about that ass whipping he gave me the other day.
I definitely had a good run against him. That's the first run I've ever raced him, and I got, look, like I said, we had a good run, and
I'd like that finish line camera be good on that one.
Yeah, I have the 360. When Chris or crew chief got back, he'll have the 360 back there. I'll have to send it to you. But all guys, man, all good.
Probably a car and a half, and I just thought it was close. Show me how old I am.
That's all right, man. It was a good time, though, dude. This fucking place was wild. It was hot. But anyway, guys, that was the update. I'll give Ron some good footage, and he'll get some stuff out there. Ron from 5 Stars been doing our stuff and trying to keep it real. So everybody, we'll keep you posted. We're heading south out Armageddon unexpectedly. So we're gonna run some small tire. Fuck it. Send it. I hope we get some wins down there. See you guys. Wish you luck.